This build series reconnects me with Sandy, my first full restoration project. This 1982 FJ45 is mounted on an 80 series chassis and is equipped with a Barra turbo. But I'm removing the Barra and replacing it with a 6.2 litre LS3 to make Sandy into more of a weapon for its new owner. Well, welcome back to the shed and the next episode on the LS80 4080 LS4080 build. Things have progressed okay, but things have escalated pretty quickly. And what I mean by that is, yeah, I had to end up taking the cab off. So, yeah, so we've got the cab off now and the engine ready to put in. So I guess to catch you up, obviously took all the Barra out. That came out pretty straightforward. You've seen that last episode. Gave it a degrease through the week, so I pulled it out. Gave the engine bay a nice degrease, so it was nice and clean. So I've put on the Marks adapter, so that went on pretty straightforward. I didn't really need to record that. Take the old cover off, put the new cover on. There's nothing really too fancy about it, but it's a good piece of kit actually. I'm pretty impressed with it. And then the other thing that I've done as well is, instead of trying to cut out the Barra parts of the body loom, I just took the whole loom out. So the cab is now loom free, except for the immobilizer that's in there. But yeah, so it's now loom free. So that'll actually be on the bench here. I can cut it all up. I can get all the Barra stuff out of it, put all the LS stuff in it. So it's going to be much easier doing it that way. But where I got to yesterday, just off camera, I obviously fitted up all that Mark stuff, took all the sundry stuff off the front. So took the alternator off, took the air compressor off, like the air conditioning compressor off. Just sort of freed all that. Took the headers off. So took the headers off, put the McKinnon's engine mounts on. But I haven't done anything with the sump yet. I'm sort of just leaving that for the moment. So just sort of, you know, I guess mocking it all up. But two issues that I had. One, try and stabilise the gearbox. So try and keep the gearbox level going in. Obviously I had a bit of a chain down to the engine crane and that, and I just couldn't clear the body, like couldn't clear that. So that was point number one. But point number two, by the time I sort of lowered it in there, it was pretty obvious to me that the Crossmember location was not going to match up to where I needed it to be. So the thought process behind this is, speaking to Billy at McKinnon's, we use the same crossmember between the Barra and the LS. So the crossmember, how it mounts to the Marks adapter, all stays the same. And what we thought is that the dimensions would be the same. So I should be able to just bolt the crossmember up, cut off the old engine mount poles. So cut off these, and then bolt the new ones on, and then wherever the engine sits, that's where we tack on and weld it onto. Now, that's how I did it for the one V-Day, and that all worked fine. But mocking it up, and I said, when I say mocking it up, very roughly lowering it in there, it didn't seem to work. I feel that we're out by about 150 mil. Now, what's interesting is that the engine mounts are the same as well. If we look at these poles, right, so these are the McKinnon's ones again. If you look at this, they're the same height, they're the same length, the same everything, right? All it's changed is obviously the depth of where it'll be. So if it sits there, it'll be sitting at a certain height, but if it goes up a little bit further, obviously it'll be sitting, you know, a little bit higher. I did have this little idea that I might be able to leave those engine mount poles there where they are. So then I've measured up where the engine mounts go on the engine to the firewall, and then I've measured it on there, and it's actually exactly where I would like the engine. So what I'm going to do today is bolt up the rubber mounts, bolt up the engine mounts, get it sitting in there, get it bolted up, and then maybe lower the cab, see where it sits. If I've got good firewall clearance, I might be able to just get away with leaving the engine mounts where they are, and then we'll just have to do something about the crossmember. But I think first jobs first, I'm gonna do that, and then we'll see what we've got. But that will be a cool little win if that works. All right, well, I reckon that was half successful, actually. So I've put the engine into where the Barra mounts are, and as you can see, it's actually pretty bloody close. So, yeah, I'm not too displeased with that. The only thing is the Barra must be cockeyed. So see how this is sort of not square. It's not, you know, the engine's sort of a bit, if we're looking at this way, it's like that, right? So that must be something to do with the Barra engine mounts, because this pole here is back 10 mil to the other one. So I think what I'm gonna do, and I mean, that gap there's pretty good, like that'll pass roadworthy and everything like that, or engineering and that, because it's within the sort of 10 mil. But when you've got a gap this side like that, you know, I think what I'll do is I'll square it all up. So what I might do is I'll take it all back out again. I'll cut this pole off and just move it up the fish plate. So I could probably leave the fish plate there. I'll just cut this pole off and just move it up 10 mil. And then that'll square the engine up. That'll get the engine nice and square. And then the only issue that I've got, so let me just put it up on the hoist. Yeah, so the only issue I've got is obviously the cross member doesn't match up. So obviously this gearbox here is a bit shorter than the ZF6. So what it means is that cross member is out by about 100 and, I think it's 130 mil. I've got a couple of options of what we can do. If it was my car, I'd literally be just making another little bracket and welding a bracket on there and re-drilling these holes and cutting that off, and we're good. But the owner owns a laser cutting business. So chances are I'm gonna send some measurements to him and he's gonna make me up an offset cross member, right? And then so therefore I don't have to change the mounts on the chassis. We can just make up a new cross member to suit everything. And it'll look, I mean, it'll finish it off a bit more nicer than what I would do, but you know, I try and save money where I can. So but anyway, yeah, that's not too bad. So in terms of degrees as well, it's sitting back about 4 degrees, so I wouldn't want any more of an incline on that. But I mean, if I moved it forward, it'd actually increase the angle anyway. So I think given where it all is, I think that is in its spot where it needs to be. So yeah, aside from just moving these forward, I'll just cut this pole off, move that forward 10 mil, and then we should be good to go. All right, so engine is now moved forward to where it's meant to be. Let's have a look. So that's, yeah, all it needed to go was 10 mil. And then, yeah, we've got that all nice and lined up now. I sort of just roughly put the radiator back in, and you know, as you can see, it's plenty of gap there, which is good. Now, one thing that's interesting to note is that one, I've got to remove this oil cooler, so that's fine. What I've gone and bought, there's a blanking plate. So this is obviously the VF Series 2. Now, this came with an oil cooler on the side here, which has got a gallery that goes into the engine there. And then obviously it goes into there as there. So I'm going to take all that off. And then I've got a blanking plate for that. And I've got a Welsh plug for that, which is fine. But what is cool, remember how we got the rear hump sump as part of the kit? Speaking to Laurie from LCS, that there is for doing an LS conversion in an 80 series. Now, in an 80 series, that front of the engine sits about here, right? Whereas in this, it sits a lot further back because it's on a 4080. What it means is I get to keep that existing sump on there because I've got clearance from the front diff, right? So you see that? Even through here, right? Plenty of clearance there. So that's pretty cool. It means I don't have to change the sump and it gets a bit bigger oil capacity. So, you know, that's a little win. So yeah, I guess the next phase for me at the moment is going through the wiring. So I'm up to the wiring part. I've also sent the dimensions away to the owner to get the crossmember made up and that as well. So I think that's pretty close. The other issue that I've got is I've bolted up the Marks transfer adapter and I put the transfer on, but see how close that flange is to the gearbox. Now, I don't know if it's an issue with anything else, but I'm going to have to trim a little bit of this pan off in order for the tail shaft to clear. So I haven't seen that before, and I haven't, if anyone's sort of come across that themselves, you know, drop a comment below. But yeah, I think that's a bit weird of how close that sits in there. But anyway, it is what it is. So in terms of ratios, sitting back about 4.5 degrees. So that's not too bad. That's within parameters. So that 2 to 5 that we're looking for. And the other thing as well, the difference between the Barra and the LS, the tail shaft. So this tail shaft needs to be shortened and this one needs to be lengthened because we're about 130 mil difference. So the whole thing's forward 130 mil. So the custom tail shafts need to be customized again. But the cool thing is that one of the engine mounts stays in the exact same spot. So that's pretty cool. Well, how about this for overkill? Crossmember. So I sent the measurements to Jason, the owner, to cut me up a new crossmember, and he sent it back in stainless. So that's pretty cool. It's, yeah. So on the beach, that thing will not rust at all. So we won't have to worry about that at all. But I haven't fitted it up yet, but I think it'll be pretty close. Might need to make a few little adjustments in that. But yeah, I sort of roughly bolted it up and it looked pretty good. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that'll probably wrap this episode up. Next episode will be into the wiring and the joys of what that's going to entail. So stay tuned. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you like it. And yeah, leave a comment. How are you finding the build? What do you think about the Barra going out and the LS going in? What do you think about that? So let us know, and we'll catch you next time.